welcome to the Crochet Cakes YouTube channel. In today's podcast episode, we are going to be talking about Vogue Knitting Live. So I hope you are doing well and that you've had a good couple of weeks. I know it's been more than 2 weeks since the last time I uploaded a podcast, but I just honestly lost track of time. There was family over, I filmed a special episode with mom, and then I had some more family come visit just for a day or two this week, and I didn't feel comfortable podcasting in front of them. In fact, I don't know about you, but when I have people that are visiting, I tend to put a stop to everything. I don't do work or house cleaning or things like that, just because I want to devote my attention to the people that are taking the time to visit me. So that's what I've been doing. Well, I've been doing other stuff, but that's the gist of where I've been up to, or what I've been up to for these 2 weeks. So as I mentioned at the start of the episode, today we're going to be talking about Vogue Knitting Live. So it's going to be more of a chatty episode. I do have some crochet to share with you, but please feel free to look away from the camera and focus on your project. I will tell you when I'm showing something on the screen. Right, so if you are subscribed to my newsletter, and by newsletter I mean, my blog, if you're subscribed to my blog and you receive my notifications and my newsletter, it's, I call it a newsletter, but yeah, it's every 2 weeks I try to send out a brief communication of what I've been up to, hoping to hear from you guys, just as a way to better connect with the community that is, I know for sure, interested in my work. I also try to post in the YouTube community forum or section, just so that we all can have some more ways to connect with each other and really form a sense of community. Of course, you can also feel free to contact me on Instagram or Ravelry. I am honestly more active on Instagram than I am on Ravelry. Ravelry, I haven't really used it. I thought I would bring it back with the Eat Cake Cal that I was co-hosting with May Sonder. Her @May Sonder is her handle, but we didn't really have a lot of traction in there, and I know that's partly my fault. I now have a better understanding of how to revive my Ravelry group if you're interested, and I decided that the next time I host a Cal for a pattern that I've designed, I want to, if not work it up with you guys, then provide little separate video tutorials for those people that are joining the Cal, just to make it a little bit more fun and just participatory. I guess encourage as much participation as possible. Let's not be Shakespeare and create words we don't even know what they mean, okay? So anyway, in my newsletter, I had sent out a little info letting you guys know that I was participating in the Vogue Knitting Live BIPOC Meet the Maker panel. And that was held on Sunday, June 17th, if I'm not mistaken. I'm just having a quick look here because I could be mistaken. I'm sorry. Sunday, June 13th, not even 17th. I don't know what day it is anymore, clearly. All I know is that today is Monday. That's it. So on Sunday, June 13th, I signed up for a BIPOC meet. Well, I didn't sign up. I was approached by Gabby, one of the organizers, to be in the BIPOC Meet the Maker panel, and of course I agreed because I wanted to meet new people too, and I just wanted to have that hour of listening for makers all around the world, because we had makers from London, Mumbai, and I'll put the Instagram handles for the people that I shared the panel with down below if you're interested in giving them a follow. And the panel was hosted by Janet Sloan. Now in this panel, we each had about a 10-minute segment to answer some questions so that people would get to know the faces behind these craft businesses. And I thought I would share some of them with you guys, because I know that the YouTube channel has been really big lately, and maybe you know me, maybe you don't. So I thought it would just be a fun little segment of get to know me. So one of the questions that I got asked on the panel is, how long have I been crocheting or blogging? And I've been crocheting, you guys know, a little bit about that, but I learned about the world of crochet when I was 15 years old, and I was entirely not interested in it. And we fast forward to my 20s when I moved to Syracuse, New York, out of necessity. Crochet seemed like the good way to go. You know, I wanted hats, I wanted to be warm. And then when I moved back home in 2014, I still kept up with the crochet, just not for warmth, because I lived in Puerto Rico, and Puerto Rico is a tropical environment, so it's just hot and humid, and sometimes you get a nice cool breeze, but the merits of wool and being warm are very far away from your thoughts when you live in Puerto Rico. So I kind of explored a different avenue, and I started getting into the world of podcasting. And by that I mean that I started watching podcasts, and after a year maybe of watching podcasts, I decided to start my own YouTube channel. And my primary focus was just to podcast when I started. It was to share what I've been doing, what I've been purchasing, my thoughts on patterns, yarns, etc. And then from there, I've thought about sharing stitches that I've particularly liked or that I use in my patterns. So my channel has a little mix of tutorials and podcasts and vlogs, which I did the Vlogmas this year, and it might be the only year that I actually do Vlogmas, but we'll see. If you guys are interested in that, just let me know. I know it's super early to start thinking about that, but I need to plan accordingly because I have socks to make as Christmas gifts. I'm just putting that out there because as a maker, I'm always looking, when are people's birthdays? When am I going to give somebody a gift, just to, whenever possible, be able to give a handmade gift. So definitely the YouTube channel and the crochet came before the blogging. I started blogging seriously about 2 years ago, and you guys know a little bit about that journey if you've watched before, but it's a steady uphill climb, I like to think. Definitely I decided I'm going to start a blog. I was very inspired by the big time bloggers like Sorella and oh my god, the Hook Nook, where she used to have a really active blog, and then Creations Crochet, and I'm really missing one that was also a big inspiration, and it's not made by Jess. It's, oh my god, she also works with Lion Brand, I think. Honestly, I'm blanking out. But anyway, I was really inspired, and I thought a blog and running advertisements seems like a good way to explore the ocean and see if I can make a business out of crochet. So that was my kind of timeline of YouTube and crocheting. And you guys know that I've been podcasting, or I've been hosting a YouTube channel for 5 years now. 5 years and counting. Hopefully this is something that will continue to evolve and be part of your lives and my life as well. So I've also had a very interesting question that was, what inspires my videos? Specifically on my YouTube channel and on my Instagram feed. I had some nice compliments upon my Instagram feed and how creative they find the content that I produce. So that was huge boost, and it's nice to know that it's appreciated on that way. And I read all your comments, by the way, and I try to answer to most of them. Sometimes I miss comments because I'm looking at the Instagram webpage on my desktop and not the app, and they don't really link that well. I think it's still a work in progress. So I just want to thank you if you've ever watched my content and commented or hit that like button or the subscribe or the follow on Instagram. It's a huge boost to know that your work is appreciated and that you're building a tight-knit community, because it's not just about sharing what I do, it's about sharing with you as well. So that's a big part of it. But in terms of what inspires my videos, I get inspired by a lot of things. And lately I've been really inspired by the historical my historical side. If you don't know, I do have a history degree. My bachelor's degree is in history and my master's degree is in museum studies. So that's a little bit about the background of me before I became Crochet Cakes. And in history, what actually attracted me to studying history was the clothes. I loved the changes in fashion, but I just studied general history because at the time I didn't really know historical dress was a thing you could study or explore or learn on your own. I had no idea, to be quite honest. And now I feel like I'm not sure I want to get into the historical costuming world in terms of me making a historical dress, because me and sewing, I still fear it. I think I'd have to get used to it and really look at it as a research thing. It's not just I am making this for the sake of making it. I am making this to really in-depth learn about a time period. So anyway, I've been watching a lot of historical dress videos and historical costuming channels, and I've been picking up ideas in terms of colors and videography, how they style their videos, their storytelling, and things like that. And those are some of the items that I am hoping that I am bringing forward in my YouTube channel, especially the storytelling part. I think a blog post or a YouTube video flows much better if you are telling a story from beginning to end. So if you are doing a tutorial, you should start by saying, this is the tutorial, performing this, doing the tutorial, and then maybe giving some ideas of what people could do with that stitch, if it's a stitch tutorial, or if it's a pattern. If you do garment tutorials, hugs to you, hugs, really. But then giving ideas maybe about how people could alter your patterns. That's something that goes along in the storyline. So basically what I'm trying to say is that I branch out a lot from the crochet world to look for creativity, and I try to look at things from a creative aspect. So if I'm watching a TV series, what was it that I loved about it? Was it the way the dialogue flowed? Was it the way the characters grew? Things like that. And then I try to think about how I can bring that into my crochet life and my Instagram feed, and just, general things like that. And the other thing that I wanted to address, which was one of the other questions that they asked me in Vogue Doing Life, is why the name Crochet Cakes? Well, I sometimes ask that myself, and I did toy with the idea of changing my name because I think it's very cut and dry. And what I mean by that is that the name Crochet Cakes is very limiting, because when you see it, you think about a girl that's going to crochet cakes. And that is not what I do. I do crochet and I do eat cakes, but I do not crochet them. So essentially, the background of that is nothing super storytelling. It's just that I wanted to incorporate my two great loves at the time, which were baking and crocheting. So I didn't want to do crochet bakes or something like the Bakery Bears, because they had already had the name bakery in the name. So I decided to go for Crochet Cakes. And that is kind of a little brief review of me and what I do and what I hope to accomplish in this channel. And if you already knew that about me, then sorry, but please comment and tell me more about you. And if you are here for the crochet content, well, it starts now. I don't have a lot, but thank you to all those people that wrote back and said they still wanted to hear from me even if I did not have a lot of crochet to share. And that means a lot to me, because it means that we are really building a relationship, which to me was the entire reason of starting a podcast and an Instagram feed and a crochet related business, was because I wanted relationships. I wanted to build crafty relationships, and I wanted to help spread some joy across the world with people that have the same interest, or even if they don't have the same interest but can still appreciate the beauty behind things. And I hope that made sense. anyway, I do have a finished object, and if you follow me on Instagram, you will have seen this finished object, and if you read my blog, you will have read about this finished object. So what I'm going to do is I will introduce the project, talk a little bit about it, and if you're interested in any more details or any more visuals, then please head on over to my Instagram or my blog post, because I'm pretty sure I linked the Instagram postages related to this finished item in my blog. So it's not a mystery. I'm not purposely avoiding talking about it, but my finished item is the hot water bottle cozy. And this hot water bottle cozy is a pattern from the Romantic Crochet book by Lulu Loves, Emma Escott. And this is my third make from her book. So if you are interested in my thoughts about her book, then I will link that blog post down below as well. And if you're interested in this item specifically, there is a separate blog post for it because I had to make some changes. Yes. So I'm just going to give you an up close. It is a hot water bottle cozy. It is details with bubble. It has bobble stitch detailings, and the color is watermelon cooler, and it is kind of a, oh my god, it's got like a pinky purple, and then it's got raspberry reds and a bit of Merlot colors thrown in there, so it's different shades of pinks, but on the brighter pink, bright deep pink spectrum. It's not in the bubblegum pink spectrum or corally pink like my lips. No. This is, as I said, watermelon cooler, and it's also got greens, and it's got different tones of green. So we've got like leafy green, but we've also got dark forest greens, or evergreen is a better description for it. And this is one of the last hanks of Crafting and Treats original yarn base that I had left in my stash. And I think in the previous video that I recorded with Mom, I said it was Romney Lamb's wool, 100% Romney Lamb's wool. And this, because it is woolen spun, which I think has to be my favorite texture for yarn, it is very thick, and it'll, you know, spruce up and fluff out. So I classify it as a sport weight, even though it does bring 400 meters in 100 grams. And I used a 4mm hook to work this hot water bottle cozy up. And I had stitch gauge, even though the pattern called for 4.5. The funny thing is that I thought I could follow the pattern in its entirety because I was using thinner yarn and a 4mm hook instead of 4.5. But no guys, my row gauge was apparently way looser than the designer's, because I actually had to eliminate an entire pattern repeat and then adjust the decreases to work for where I was at the pattern at the time. But it fits my hot water bottle cozy just fine, and it is so warm because this is really woolly wool. So 2 weeks ago when I was on my period, I just filled this up with hot water and I fell asleep for 3 hours because I was in such a state of warm bliss. And you know, hot water bottles, if you've never used one before, because this was my first time using one, they are good for other aches and pains as well. So I'm going to actually be using that today on my back because it's been really bothering me. So I'm just gonna lay down on my stomach, put this hot water bottle on my back, and who knows, maybe I will have another blissful sleep. So I highly recommend that you purchase, if you're able to purchase, the Romantic Crochet book, because it's got so many beautiful makes in it. And if you are unsure, then I believe you can see the patterns that are included in the book on the Amazon page, and you can of course head on over to my blog and see the 3 patterns that I've done, because as I said, this is the third and the hot water bottle cozy. I've done the garment and 2 house items, and I couldn't be happier with them. I do have plans to make another tea cozy. I don't know when that will come to fruition though. And by plans, I mean from the Romantic Crochet book, which still makes me very happy. So that is what I've been up to in terms of finished items. I don't have anything else to share with you, but I did venture out for the first time in forever to actually make a Pollevie bag. If you're familiar with this designer, she's from, I want to say Holland. She's from Holland, and she designs bags, and she uses what she calls freestyle crochet to design colorful home pieces, shawls, bags, baskets, stools, anything like that. So it's basically crochet bombing your life. That's what she does. That's my expression for her. And years ago, I had bought this straw woven bag to use as my Pollevie bag. You know, I wanted to crochet over it, but I'd never done it. I actually liked it just fine without the crochet, but I needed a break after completing one of my commissions. I really wanted to just do something for the sake of doing something and not thinking about designs or anything like that. So this is what I have so far. It's all made in single crochet, and it's essentially made from scraps, any yarns that I had left over. This chartreusey Granny Smith green is Red Heart. It's not Super Saver, it's Red Heart with Love. And then I've got down here in this chains that I've pulled, that is Bernat Softy Chunky. This floof thing that I've done a bubble stitch with, I don't know what it is. It's, my neighbor gave it to me from her box of scraps. Same with the blue one. It was given to me by my neighbor from her box of scraps, but it's got a bit of tweediness to it. So the idea is that you're going to insert this in over your bag, right? And then you're going to use this little spaces to just fold it over and sew. So then you have to go into how you're going to design it. So originally I was just going to follow one of the bags that I really liked from her, and I'm going to show you the picture. But first, I will pause my recording so that we are not cut off. There we go. Oh God, it opened on Instagram, and look at that beauty. Okay, but what I wanted to show you was my Pollevie. There we go. So this is the bag I'm talking about. And you can see she uses lots of different color combinations, and she kind of like packs it full of flowers, and one of them has cherries. And the idea is to literally just have the whole bag covered. Is it focus on me yet? Okay, here we go. And I was gonna do that. I was just gonna do flowers, but then I was looking at one of my favorite mug actually, but it's cracked. I'll insert a picture of the mug here for you guys. And it's got a forest scene with mushrooms and owls and leaves. And I love mushrooms. So I decided to make a mushroom scenery going in here, like if this was a forest and these is the rivers running through it. So I don't have a lot actually. I just have, where'd they go? Oh, here we are. I just made a whole bunch of leaves. And I'm thinking I might have made them too big. But I just made a whole bunch of leaves right now that I'm gonna add and sew, make a little bit of flowers and make a couple of mushrooms. But I actually don't have like scraps of brown, and I am trying to use scraps of yarn. So this is scraps of Hipye's Callista, I think it is, and I literally used all the little scraps I had left, so that makes me very, very happy. I have some scraps of linen that I think I'm just gonna pull out and use two together to make my mushrooms, because you know mushrooms come in different shapes and sizes and colors. So I was gonna do a little bit of leeway to add some, and I also wanted flowers, but I don't know yet how I'm gonna place them on the bag, which is why you don't see them on the bag per se. But that is me and my crochet this week. I know it's not really a lot to share with you, but it's made me very happy nonetheless, because I just pick up this freestyle crochet at night when I'm watching, oh my god, what did we watch? We watched Loki on Disney Plus, and we were watching Little Coincidences. It's a series in Spanish, in Spain Spanish, but it's got English subtitles and it's from Amazon Prime, and it's hilarious. It's about two people, a male and a female, that both decided they want to have a kid. They are not together, they are just in the same wavelength of we want to have a kid. So it's about how they start venturing in this dating world, trying to find an appropriate person to have a kid with, and how their lives start interconnecting. But it's just hilarious. It's adults, they're adults, like adults, you know, 35, 40-year-olds. So, you know, at that age that you think you've got life figured out, and then you're like, oh wait, I don't. Adults. So anyway, I've just been sitting down with that and crocheting on it, and it's been a blast, honestly, just not thinking about something, just doing single crochets, just round and around and around, and then I'm like, oh, I'm gonna do this here, and oh, I'm gonna do this here. It's been really fun not writing a pattern as I go along, you know what I mean? And also I've been working on a design that I shared when I did my live at Vogue Knitting Live, and I'm not going to share with you yet because it's in the stages of being close to finished, and by that I mean that I am on Sleeve Island with lace weight yarn. So close to the finish line, but not really, because you've got one more sleeve to go and one to finish, so yeah. But yeah, guys, other than that, I'm going to be doing a test crochet soon, and I was preparing to submit some proposals to magazines to hopefully get some more commissions and keep the Crochet Cakes business dream alive. Who knows? As my brother was telling me, maybe I will be Crochet Cakes LLC sometime in the future. I can already see what I would offer, but anyway, thank you guys so much for but anyway, I hope that you guys had a good weekend. It was a big one. It was Juneteenth on Saturday, and it was Father's Day on Sunday, but it was also midsummer, or the summer solstice. So I hope you had some time to meditate on what you've accomplished this season, and also what goals you want for the next season to come. And I hope that they are plentiful, and that you still, you know, write down those goals and hopes and dreams, because we are never too late for that. At least that's what I tell myself. It's never too late to dream, right? And incidentally, I consider myself a dreamer, just in case it wasn't obvious with how much I talk about things in this podcast. I am a dreamer. But anyway, I apologize for the chattiness of this podcast. I know some people like chatty podcasts, so I hope you like this one, and I know some people don't like a chatty podcast, so I do apologize that there was no more crochet-centric podcast, and that I didn't have a crochet cohesive theme to talk you through. But I think it's important that we build a community, and getting to know each other is an essential part of that community. So for all the new people out there, thank you. And for the people that have been with me for the past 5 years, thank you as well. I hope you have a lovely crafty week, and I will see you in 2 weeks' time for another video. And it will hopefully be a bit more educational. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that word. Bye guys, take care, and happy crafting.